Welcome to this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Ann. We'll keep it here on GLWS as we bring you all the action happening around Rodeo, Nebraska. Spotlight a cowboy who's getting wild and western and all the details surrounding the upcoming events here in Rodeo, Nebraska. Well, athletes across the Good Life state were on the rodeo road this past week. It's now time to catch up with pro rodeo announcer Jared Slagle as he gives us our pro rodeo update.
In the team roping, Matt Kasner, the healer from Cody, Nebraska, captures over $1,200 from Tucson, Arizona at the La Fiestas de los Vaqueros. Yeah, that means Festival of the Cowboys for all of you who didn't take Senora Dunbar's Spanish class at Sargent High School. Matt is the number 11 ranked healer in the world of pro rodeo. In the bareback riding, Mullins' Stephen Dent had a busy time navigating the stops in Texas and Arizona. Stephen picked up just shy of 3,000 in Tucson and over 6,500 in the semi and finals at San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo. Adding to what he has made the week before, Dent smashed over 9,500 from San Antonio and now sits 11th in the PRCA World Standings. Gehring's Orrin Larson, who also did well in San Antonio in the last 2 weeks, he combined for over 6,300. Orrin is the 18th ranked bareback rider in the world. In the saddle bronc riding, dual citizen and Nebraska-blooded Zeke Thurston grabs shy of $14K in San Antonio, with money coming from the semifinals and finals. He's the number 7 man in the saddle bronc riding world standings. Court Shear has had more success than Rain Man at the blackjack tables in the past few weeks. At the PRCA Rodeo in San Antonio, Court cashes in over 11,000 in chips. He sits 9th in the PRCA World Standings. And now, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Although not a PRCA-sanctioned event, RFD TV's The American stayed true to its format for changing lives, and a potload of that money is heading to the sandhills of Nebraska. In fact, 433,000 of those American dollars is in one man's cinched jeans. If you haven't heard this story yet, pick up the rock that you've been hiding under and listen up. Court Shear, the saddle bronc rider from Goose Creek country of the Sandhills of Nebraska, made history on Sunday as he became the 2018 saddle bronc champion of the world's richest one-day rodeo held at the AT&T Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. As a qualifier, Court worked his way through the system to claim his share of the $1 million side pot, which he split with the bareback rider and steer wrestling champions, who were also qualifiers of the event. Other Nebraska notables who shined like a dime were bareback rider Stephen Dent from Mullen and Orrin Larson from Gehring. Both were invites and made it to the top 4 shootout round. Don't forget that it's rodeo time in Grand Island this week and weekend. Performances both Thursday and Friday night with the PRCA Extreme Bowls on Saturday night. Myself, along with the Good Life Western Sports crew, will be hosting the first ever Nebraska Rodeo Forum. All of this taking place at the Heartland Event Center in Farner Park. That's going to wrap it up for this week's Good Life Western Sports Pro Rodeo updates. Just remember a horse racing tip. Don't bet on a horse with 3 legs or a jockey with 3 arms. For Good Life Western Sports and our friends at Fenolio Boot Company, I'm Pro Rodeo voice Jared Slagle. You stay classy, Nebraska, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Jared. When we return, we will meet with a cowboy who grew up in a ranching family and now likes to get a little wild and western.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Ann. Well, this cowboy grew up in a ranching family. He worked his way up from steer riding to bull riding and later hung up his bull rope. In 2015, he was awarded the Rookie of the Western States Ranch Rodeo National Finals. Meet Athlete Spotlight, TJ Fenster.
TJ Fenster from Hyannis, Nebraska. I ride broncs. My dad rode saddle broncs for a long time, and family grew up ranching, and it just kind of was born into us. Started riding steers and worked my way up and rode bulls for a long time, and pretty well hung the bull rope up. And in 2011, I got on my first ranch bronc, and that's been pretty well my life since. 2015, me and a kid from Thedford, Nebraska, Sutton Jepson, decided to go to Torrington, Wyoming for the Broncs for Breakfast, or Bronc Bash, excuse me. And we each bought our cards and had our rookie year. And I was leading the Rookie of the Year standings right up to the end of the year. And Gatlin Huddleston edged me out by a few points for the year end for Rookie of the Year. But I qualified for my first national finals. Went down to Winnemucca, Nevada to the Western States Ranch Rodeo National Finals. Ended up winning the Rookie of the Finals out there, and carried on into the next season. 2016, I went into the finals sitting fourth in the world and walked out. I ended up fifth overall and fifth in the average for the year end. Had to sit out last year due to a broken elbow I got at the national finals. So it's been a year picking up, and now I'm back to riding broncs and just hitting Western States bronc ridings. Ranch bronc riding, it started off the same as saddle bronc riding. Somebody had something they said couldn't get rode, and somebody down the road said he had somebody that could get him rode, and it just escalated to that. Ranch bronc riding is just starting to take off. It used to be you could get 5 guys to go and get on any sale barn runaway brumby in the countryside because they said it'd buck. Ranch bronc riding, saddle bronc riding, you have an association saddle, and you have to have a mark out rule. And the ranch bronc riding, any everyday saddle off a horse. The fun thing that I really like about it is we get on the stuff that guys usually in the bareback or saddle bronc riding don't necessarily want to get on. Like the birch colts, we get on a birch colt that's never been bucked a day in their life, and it gets wild and western, and they judge you on a spur ride, but they want to see something that's wild and crazy, and you just have to stay in control. And the more you can use your horse and show him off, the more points you're going to beat. The Western States Ranch Rodeo Association has been around, I think this is its 8th year. Every year it's been getting bigger and bigger. They have ranch rodeos all over the state of Nebraska. You buy your card and you try to get qualified to the national finals in Winnemucca, Nevada. And then there's also the WRCA, the Working Ranch Cowboys Association, that's been around for many, many years. Their finals are in Amarillo, Texas. Both associations, you take a team, and both associations have ranch bronc riding as an open event. The ranch bronc riding, top 15 in the world go based on a points average. If your team goes to a Western States Ranch Rodeo and wins it, then you're invited to go to the national finals in Winnemucca, so long as you're a member. There's nothing more fun when you show up and you see you got Bar T or Birches there, and they brought in a bunch of colts that they don't even know because they never even dummy bucked them before. It's a little scary, but also a lot of fun.
TJ will be competing at the Grand Island Roundup Ranch Rodeo this coming weekend. And speaking of the Grand Island Roundup, when we return, we'll give you all the details around this weekend's activities.
Rock C Animal Chiropractic is dedicated to helping improve your horse's overall health performance. Dr. Crabtree incorporates chiropractic, low-level laser therapy, myofascial, and nutritional therapy to accelerate your horse's ability to heal and get back in the ring. Rock C is mobile and travels the state to bring your horse the excellent care they deserve. Call Rock C Animal Chiropractic today at 402-276-1348. 8 words to remember: we can work on you and the horse you rode in on.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Ann. Well, a weekend of fun and excitement is almost here as Sutton Rodeo gets the arena set to kick off the extreme performance of the Grand Island Roundup happening at the Fenster Park Event Center in Grand Island at 7:30. The pro rodeo action will continue to Friday, as well as the Ranch Rodeo happening on Saturday morning and the Extreme Bull Riding and Ranch Rodeo finals on Saturday night. Also taking place at Fenster Park at the Bosman's Conference Center on Saturday, March 3rd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the Nebraska Rodeo Forum. The forum will provide a platform for all people involved in the production and promotion of the rodeo industry in Nebraska to share their ideas, thoughts, concerns, and the future of rodeo here in Nebraska. The format will be very interactive, as we've mentioned before, covering many different topics that are relevant in strengthening and growing the sport here in our state, as well as many key industry speakers presenting on topics such as animal welfare, rodeo marketing in a modern age, rodeo entertainment, the National High School Rodeo Finals, an update on that. There's no cost for this event. However, we'd appreciate an RSVP to enable us to have a head count for the conference center. Register by clicking in the link in our description here or calling us. All the information is in the description, and we look forward to seeing you guys attend this event. But stay tuned after the break for more rodeo event information coming up this weekend.
Are you cool to flex fuel? 1 in 7 Nebraskans is driving a flex fuel vehicle, and many don't even realize it. With a flex fuel vehicle, you can fill up with any blend of American ethanol and gasoline, from E10 to E15, from E30 to E85, at any time in any amount. Look for an insignia on your trunk or tailgate. You might have a yellow gas cap, or check your owner's manual. If you're cool to flex fuel, then look for a flex fuel pump in your neighborhood. Flex fuel blends with American ethanol.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobbie Lee Ann. Well, the bulk of college rodeo action is beginning this weekend with several regional teams traveling to their first scheduled spring season college rodeo. We'll be bringing you all the updates on the Husker College athletes this coming week, so stay tuned for those on our Facebook page, Instagram, as well as Snapchat. And if you haven't already, be sure to click on the podcast link as well and download that, and you can get all the updates for college there as well. Well, Go Big Red. The University of Nebraska College Rodeo Association will be hosting their annual banquet this Saturday, March 3rd at 6:30 with a buffet dinner, a silent auction, and music to follow the banquet with the James Lee Band at the Single Barrel in Lincoln. So join the UNL team as they recognize efforts of their student athletes during the 2016-2017 school year. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of Good Life Western Sports. Be sure to tune in us next week as we highlight rodeo across Nebraska. For Good Life Western Sports, I'm Bobbie Lee Ann.